Hello everyone. I hope you are all doing well. This is your preparation reading for the Lionsgate Portal Healing Circle happening on August 8th, and I am really looking forward to it. I could feel some major shifts wanting to change and some activations really needing to happen. So, to support that, there's a lot that will happen in this circle. So, do be prepared for this circle to go over an hour. With the last circle on July's full moon, it went to an hour and a half. So we'll see where Spirit takes us on this journey on Lionsgate Portal. With this journey that we're going to take, it's going to be a little different in that because there are quite a few registrants, and I know you and you know me because we've worked for quite some time, you are all very highly spiritual and or are healers. And anyone who falls within that category, you're probably feeling something really needing to release, shift, or activate. And we're going to do some healing releases and downloads specific to that. And I'll explain more when we meet in the actual circle. But in general, we need to do some healing around the trauma that your soul has kept within itself in regards to reincarnation. There's some sort of a shock and disappointment that has occurred, and the memory of that has been stored in your soul, which is making this spiritual activation and spiritual evolution a little difficult. And if you're finding yourself hesitating or procrastinating, it's because of that soul trauma from reincarnating. And we will go through that a little deeper when we meet online. But right now, they do want to get right into the preparation reading. And we will start with the energy that is coming forward. And this will give us a sense of what to expect in the month of August and also what to expect in the healing journey that we will all take together. So let's see what the piles of cards have to say. You and your loved ones are safe. So right away, they want to assure you that. If anyone here is having to adjust some sort of family plans or finding that they had to pivot all of a sudden in terms of the direction that their life is going, career is going, relationship is going, know that everyone is safe. Right now it's time of growing pains and massive release. And Spirit wanted to start this reading with that message, assuring you that it's just a time of release. And when we have to let go of things, it's a little uncomfortable. And I'm hearing from Spirit is mostly because we become accustomed to having that specific energy or circumstance or person in our life, and to let them go is also releasing a bit of familiarity and consistency. And also I'm hearing predictability, which is tied to your soul's trauma of expecting a person to cause trouble or leave you or fill in the blank according to your inner child wounds. So we'll get to all those trauma stories in a bit. There are about 5 piles of cards that have come out that speak to it. Moving on to the other kind of energy that's coming. And by the way, I have not looked at these cards, so I pulled them out and I hit the record button. So what does this next card say? I think I did the same thing again and channeled the message in the next card without realizing. So don't let your past hold you back. Go in and look at the trauma. But if you don't know what it is, look at the triggers. If something is needing to change, why are you procrastinating and hesitating in making a certain decision or speaking out about how you feel? I'm hearing Spirit say, moving on. I think they all want to keep you on your toes. So speaking out about your feelings, communication is key. So some of you will need to really talk to your significant other, your boss, etc., even perhaps your children, to say, hey, this has been on my mind. I just wanted to get your insight on it. How do you feel about it? Or, you know what, I'm not that satisfied with where I am now with the job responsibilities, and I suggest this. So communication is not just about expressing how you're feeling, but suggesting the changes. And I'm hearing your spirit guide say they really like it when you take that extra step in saying how you want a change to happen or what needs to happen. All right, I am getting a nudge to move on to the virtues that you are learning at this time. So what are you learning? Healing chaos. I could hear some of you laughing as you're listening to this. So that is definitely what you're learning. But how to be still within that chaos. So how do you do that? Bringing yourself back, centering and going, okay, that's really triggering. Yeah, excellent. That's awareness coming in. So focus, centered, and awareness. Those energies coming in during this time that you're healing chaos. It may be inner chaos, emotions coming out. It could be outer chaos, which is people around you just reacting. So let's go back to that inner chaos. Really feel that and see what's really happening there for you. What are the emotions coming up? You may need to cry it out and journal it out before we meet online, because that energy needs to be released so I could take everyone a little deeper. And with any of the messages that come out, take what resonates with you, because it is a group reading. And the other part that Spirit likes to remind everyone is to take all the messages that resonated with you and reflect on it day to day. The pictures of the tarot cards are attached to the email that have been sent out to the registrants. So look at that. Print it out, even tuck it in your journal. So it's like a reminder for you to reflect. As you're healing that inner chaos, note anything else that comes up, memories perhaps from childhood. Note those down, because they're all tied, they're all connected, and they're all part of your karmic lessons to learn in this lifetime. And I'm hearing a lot of karmic lessons can be closed. I'm seeing the number 58. So collectively, as a group, that's the number of karmic lessons we could close and mark as learned, completed, and finished in our Akashic records. In terms of outer chaos, so this goes for just a very few. I'm hearing handful of us. And depending on your astrological chart and how the planets are playing out in your life right now, you may not feel so much of an emotional chaos, but people around you may be emotionally a bit chaotic. And that is really the universe's way of saying, hey, great, you've done all your inner work and you can stay grounded and centered and be this grounding rod for these people who are feeling a little bit emotionally off. Again, just a warning to the highly sensitives and the high empaths, because I do tend to attract those people to the circle because I am one myself. When you're that very grounded person and everyone's very chaotic around you, emotionally, but in behavior, make sure you do a lot of cleansing, energetic clearing on yourself after interacting with them. This is so you don't take on their stuff and you start to act out their pain on their behalf, because empaths do that sometimes. Okay, so I think I channeled again the next message, because the other thing you're learning at this time is release. So that's the next card that have come up. So learn to release those energies that you may have absorbed from others, but also releasing energy that is starting to be a bit of a chaos in your heart. So release it through journaling, crying. Maybe it's physically being active, so going out for a jog. might help to actually release a lot of that psychic energy that's stored within you. Okay. Interesting. I feel, no, actually not that I think and feel. I know for sure that this card has come out many times before in every single gathering. I think it's come out the second or third time now. The last card is going forward. You're learning how to move forward within calm and peace, but also when things are chaotic. So how wonderful. This is all very exciting, everyone. Isn't that great when Spirit says, yes, you are all moving forward? Let's get into now with the inner child wounds that the universe is getting everyone here to really heal at this time. The first card is generosity. And there's quite a bit of text on each card. So let's start with what sort of light aspects of yourself is your generous soul wanting more of? So that's abundance, kindness, and gratitude. I'm hearing we need to update and upgrade those virtues within everyone. And it's important to do those upgrades just so you feel more and more supported going forward through this time. It's going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride for just a few more weeks for some of us. So having these updated will help to ease those ups and downs. The shadow aspect, which is blocking abundance. Scarcity mindset, giving too much. So where are you giving too much? That goes to the high empaths and the highly sensitives here. We tend to be in of over service to others. That's the word that Spirit is using, over service. So how can you direct some of that energy to yourself? Because you need to ground and center yourself. And that's for some of you in the group. The message from your inner child is give with an open heart. When you give, you receive. And again, that goes for very few people in the group, but it's more about giving to yourself. So that could be an extra 2 hours to yourself, maybe saying no to an invitation to go out. And in regards to abundance, kindness, and gratitude, they really want to do a different kind of an upgrade. So you're going to hear me speak light language. And that's where I bring in these codes from the galactic realms and really amplify the energy of abundance in you. And once that's done, we could spend a way longer time towards the end of the circle doing a lot of manifestation work. And as I mentioned on the registration page, we're going to do a bit more of a lengthy time there, manifesting more in detail. All right, next, unfoldment. And this card is really buzzing powerfully and connecting with the previous card that spoke about healing chaos. So things, layers being released, unfolding. You're starting to realize or get to more of the core of who you are. And this is so important for the healers in this group. That's what I'm hearing the creator say. So it could be a healing and a release for the healers where you really feel your power as a healer amplify and feeling more confident with what you can do and offer. And I do feel that for those who have been attuned to Reiki, you're going to really feel the Reiki flow from you very differently. So unfoldment, let's go back to this card. The light part of unfoldment that your soul is needing an upgrade on is all about emergence, evolution, and divine timing. So how does that all happen in your life? And right now, for some of us, maybe it feels like divine timing is not happening, but it really is. When our patience is being tested, sometimes that is an indicator that divine timing is occurring. And the universe is asking us to practice the virtue of patience. It's interesting that that P word, patience, has been coming up quite a bit in almost every circle. The shadow aspect that you are blocking the unfoldment or the healing around unfoldment to happen are impatience. Oh, there you go. There's that word. Rushing and stagnation. We need to release the trauma or the preference to be stagnant because you fear how hard it may be to change and evolve. And again, that is all related to the trauma of reincarnating and the shock you received when you came from a higher realm and into the human body. And it's so hard to be in the human body because it's so dense. And when we experience energy, the human mind can often misinterpret things. So we'll do some healing work around that. The message from your inner child about unfoldment is, let this situation evolve in its own time. Trust in divine order. So let's update that divine order. We got one more card from your inner child. Letting go. So interesting how these cards are all related. Unfoldment and letting go. The light aspect of letting go is all about releasing control. There you go, the patience thing comes in again. Trust and feminine flow. Interesting that feminine flow has come up because the next pile of cards we're going to get into, it's all about the wounded divine feminine in you and the wounded maternal figures in your lineage. The shadow aspects that are blocking you from letting go is all about control issues and fear and feeling powerless. And your inner child is wanting to tell you to loosen your tight grip. Let the universe bring your desires to you. I'm hearing that maybe we'll find more about it in the Divine Feminine cards we'll get into in a few seconds here. But I'm getting a sense from reading everyone's DNA and the codes within them from your ancestors about control issues is that there wasn't a divine masculine or a healthy divine masculine that could protect and provide. So the divine feminine felt that she had to abandon aspects of herself to step in as the masculine. So again, there's this role that the divine feminine feels she has to play, which is the nurturer, but also the provider, protector. Let's get into now the trauma stories. And these trauma stories are all about what's wounded within your maternal line, paternal line, even in your contracts. What's the root of the trauma? And we'll get into the final fourth pile of cards here around the messages of closure, which are all about what needs to be released from your Akashic records. So those are contracts. I feel that the Lionsgate portal is a time to close old contracts that you keep repeating because at some level your soul thinks they need it to keep learning, or they're afraid that they might forget that they learned that. So let's start with the storylines here. And I'm being guided to read out all of these cards. So we'll start with the Divine Feminine. I wish I had treated you better. Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. I know I was a distraction from your pain. So with this last card, I know I was a distraction from your pain. It feels like there were some divine feminine, perhaps it was yourself or other maternal figures. So it could be female friends in your life and in other lifetimes where they were a distraction from your pain. They felt obligated to take on your pain or at least try to make you not think about it. And in that way, it didn't really do much of a service either to you or them. We need to release those contracts there. And because of that, they do sometimes stay awake thinking about you because they realize what their actions have done to you and to them and to the connection. And when I say relationship, I mean all kinds of relationship. Mother, daughter, could be mother, son, friends, etc. And I wish I had treated you better. So they wish that they made different actions. And in that way, they felt they would have supported you and treated you better in that way because you received the support you really needed, rather than them trying to distract you from what really needed to be addressed. Getting now into the other pile of cards, and these address more of that divine masculine wounds and wounds within any patriarchal figures in your life. And these also apply to ancestors that go, I'm hearing, more than 27 generations back. So we're going to do quite the deep healing here, really releasing as far back as possible. I'm being guided again just to read out the storylines. I don't want to let you go. I can't do this. I am recovering. I keep hearing the word from Spirit, self-abandonment. And that is related to I can't do this, where they were so traumatized to the point where their brain couldn't figure out what would be the next best thing to do for themselves or for the loved ones involved. And they do feel at some level this sense, deep sense of responsibility, of wanting to fix something, but they don't know how to do it. And that's why the card, I don't want to let you go, has come out. And I am recovering. That refers to them doing their own healing work in the spirit world, if they have crossed over. And for those that are still here on earth, they're recognizing and doing some work on themselves. Whatever healing we do and contracts we close, it may help them energetically to go forward. It will give them that push they need to reach out and get extra help, possibly, if it's meant to happen. And more importantly, if they choose to take that action, because everything is all free will, right? All right, so we're going to get into the next pile of cards here, and these are the shadow cards, and these really speak to the deep trauma. So what's really at the root of all this divine feminine and divine masculine pain? Like I said, karmic lessons that are on a loop or keep repeating. I've been here before with others. That's the first card that come out. So what's the lesson that they're not learning and that keeps repeating because they've been here before with others? I am different now. Okay, so that's good. There's some who have realized that they need to change, and they have changed. But there's a lot of guilt and shame coming off of this particular card, and that's preventing them from moving forward. So we need to release that guilt and shame for what they've done. And you may also feel that within yourself as we release that from your ancestors. Things do shift within your own DNA, and you might feel a bit more clean and clear. I am feeling my solar plexus, so my gut area, starting to feel light and very expansive and warm, and as if welcoming whatever future experiences might come in. So you might also find your physical body being able to digest food better. Sorry, I had to clear my throat because another spirit guide stepped in. I know more than you think. Interesting. So, some of your ancestors or those who are in your life or who have separated from you, and they're still with you or they're still here on earth, they want you to know that they've done a lot of work. They've done quite a bit of soul searching, but there's something here that's still not right, and this is what it feels like for me. And I feel that more will come out once I tune in a little deeper into everyone's energy, and every day just channel out the 8-something pages that always come out in every circle of those trauma and lessons that need to close. But what I'm feeling from here is that they have a misinterpretation of their experiences, and therefore they think that they've figured it out, but it's a little bit misinterpreted. And because of that misinterpretation and them thinking they figured everything out, it's actually veered them off course from their soul development. And some of us are in that stage, so don't feel like you have to beat yourself up, because we will course correct that in the online circle. So let's then get the creator to correct and download their truth of what happened. And from there, I could see all these loose strings in front of me where we could finally clear them. And those loose strings are, of course, cords that are still connected to the people in the past, and even to work organizations that you may have left. I do feel more about this is going to come out. I think the reason why the message is not coming out smoothly is because this is very heavy in the ancestral realm, and they are really hesitant in voicing what needs to be healed when we meet online. And a part of that hesitancy is based on confusion, because they misinterpreted their own experiences because of the massive amount of guilt and shame. And some of the misinterpretation of your ancestors' life experiences is really based on their unhealed trauma, and also not really wanting to look at the real issue. Wow, we're really going deep in this circle. I hope you're all ready. So I'm looking forward to see what the card "I Know More Than You Think" really means, and what it wants to work on all of us. The final stack of cards is Messages of Closure, and this is the last stack of cards for the trauma story insight. So this is a good time to close a lot of the karmic lessons. So this is your ancestors' way of appreciating how much work you've done to date. I am learning so much from you. So how wonderful. So there's this level of appreciation that needs to be downloaded into your DNA, so that you can begin appreciating how much work you've done so far, and how much you've actually released your ancestors also from any heavy burdens. I realize how much I hurt you. So there you go, the guilt and the shame that needs to be released. Oh, how wonderful to end with this card. I am helping you now. So from the other side, they're helping you. Let's also give them a boost from the creator on how to be of assistance. And it's because our ancestors, yes, they can be a bit of a spirit guide to us, but they're not quite spirit guides sometimes. And that's because some of our ancestors, they're not that spiritually evolved to the point where they could remove themselves and give you unbiased guidance. So it's like your mom or a guardian giving you advice, because they're giving you advice because they fear your safety, not because they know what's the best for you. And sometimes our ancestors who have a lot of unhealed trauma, and they're trying to give you advice from the other side, they may be giving advice from a place of really fear. So we're going to need to give your ancestors a bit of an upgrade, so they know how to properly assist you and guide you through this life. So we are now going into the spirit animal cards here. Sorry, I have to move a lot of cards over because there's so much. Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. How wonderful. So I do feel that has a lot to do with what the inner child cards were speaking about. Interesting. I'm hearing a lot of your spirit guides say, in letting go, you're going to reclaim your power. So however that plays out for you. And the next card is White Raven Spirit, Trust in the Magic. There you go. A really good sign from the White Raven Spirit that we need to do a lot of that deep manifestation work. Sandpiper Spirit, be playful. So allow that inner child within you to become comfortable and trusting of you to release all these heavy, heavy energies. But in order to do that, you have to connect with your inner child and make them feel that it is safe to be in with you, the adult version of themselves. And you need to be playful and do things that your inner child would have enjoyed, or do things that you want to do just to be playful. And by doing that, your inner child's just going to come up a little bit more to the forefront and say to you, okay, I think I'm ready to do some work and release this pain that I've been carrying. We're also going to call back your fragmented inner child, teenager, and younger adult selves and do the usual work before integrating it back into your soul. And by doing that, it's going to make you feel more whole. And the reason why it will make you feel more whole is because the memories of that childhood will come back and you're going to begin to understand, oh, okay, I get it. That happened and that's why I'm acting like this, or I have these belief systems. Ooh, I am sweating a lot because there's so much energy coming through. So yes, please reserve more than an hour for this healing. We are now going to go into the goddess cards, and we're going to finish with the goddesses. Sarasvati wants to speak about the arts, and maybe being creative is one of the ways you could connect with your inner child so they feel safe to begin healing what needs to be healed. The message from Sarasvati is express yourself through creative activities. Isis, oh, nice. I have been working with her quite a bit. Past life. So there's a lot of past life trauma that is playing out as really negative people coming into your life or frustrating situations. And those have been on a karmic loop. And we need to get to the root of that past life and release it. We might do a bit of past life journeying. I'm not sure. We'll see how collectively as a group, how our energy shifts. I am being told by Spirit that we are going to visit 5 different places during our journey. And that's a lot, actually. Isis wants to speak about anything related to a past life. Sorry, I had to clear my throat because Isis was starting to step in. And in regards to past life, she wants to say this situation involves your past life memories. Geneva is the final goddess, and she's talking about true love. The romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. How beautiful. So the more we do this deep inner work, there's this beautiful opening that happens at the heart chakra, and that is like a magnet for healthy people who truly love you from a place of unconditional love to begin gathering within your life. And love may develop in different ways. It could be a relationship. So if you're looking for a partner, that partner may show up. But I am hearing from your spirit guides, they want to be honest and say a little bit more inner work needs to be done for that compatible life partner or divine life partner to show up. And for those of you who are partnered with this massive purging of negative energy that will happen in August, there will be a deeper connection that will happen either towards the end of August or September. So how wonderful. let's just say that there is a lot of wonderful love coming your way. So I look forward to this journey. I do feel there's quite the release to happen and healing also to happen. I wish you all a beautiful week and see you soon.